Imagine standing at the peak of Hollywood, your name a beacon of talent, your performances lauded by fans and critics alike, your face plastered across billboards and magazine covers. Yet, every time you reach for the ultimate prize, the Oscar, it slips through your fingers like sand. For 22 years, Leonardo DiCaprio lived this reality. Rejection after rejection, he faced the Academy's cold shoulder, each snub a test of his resolve. This isn't just the story of an actor chasing a golden statue. It's an epic saga of grit, reinvention, and an unyielding belief in one's craft. This is the tale of Leonardo DiCaprio, a man who turned setbacks into stepping stones and proved that greatness, though slow, is eternal. Leonardo Wilhelm DiCaprio was born on November 11, 1974, in Los Angeles, a city of dreams and despair. His childhood unfolded in Echo Park, a neighborhood where hope often drowned in a tide of drugs, crime, and gang violence. The streets were a battlefield where survival meant navigating a maze of danger. For a young boy with big dreams, it was a place that could easily crush ambition. But Leo was different. He wasn't just another kid lost in the chaos. He was a dreamer with a fire in his soul. His parents, George DiCaprio, a comic book artist, and Ermeline Indenberken, a legal secretary, split when Leo was just a toddler. Despite their separation, they remained united in nurturing their son's potential. George introduced Leo to the world of art and counterculture, exposing him to films and creative expression early on. Ermeline, a German immigrant with her own story of resilience, saw something extraordinary in her son. While other kids in Echo Park chased fleeting distractions, video games, street games, Leo was in his room, mimicking characters he saw on TV, practicing lines with a passion that belied his age. He wasn't playing pretend. He was preparing for a destiny he could already sense. Ermeline didn't dismiss her son's obsession as childish. She saw it as a calling. With unwavering determination, she became his guide, driving him across Los Angeles to auditions in stuffy casting rooms. The rejections came fast and hard. "Sorry, kid, you're not what we're looking for." Casting directors couldn't see past his youth, his unpolished edges, or even his name. Leonardo DiCaprio sounded too foreign, too unwieldy for Hollywood's cookie-cutter mold. Agents urged him to adopt something simpler, like Lenny Williams, to blend in. Leo's response was a quiet but firm refusal. "My name is Leonardo DiCaprio," he said, "and the world will know it." That conviction, at such a young age, was a glimpse of the steel within him. The auditions were grueling. Hollywood in the late 1980s was a tough landscape for a kid from a rough neighborhood. Casting calls were often cattle calls, with hundreds of hopefuls vying for a single role. Leo faced countless doors slammed shut, but Ermeline kept his spirits aloft. She reminded him that every no was a step closer to a yes. Slowly, persistence paid off. He landed small roles in TV shows like Parenthood and Growing Pains, bit parts that gave him a taste of the industry. These weren't glamorous gigs, but they were a start. Each role honed his craft, teaching him how to command a camera, how to inhabit a character, how to turn rejection into fuel. The transition from TV to film was a leap. Hollywood's movie industry was a different beast, with higher stakes and fiercer competition. Leo's biggest hurdle wasn't just his talent, it was his identity. His name, a blend of his Italian-American father's heritage and his mother's German roots, stood out in an industry that favored anglicized monikers. Casting directors hesitated, unsure if audiences would embrace a name like DiCaprio. But Leo refused to compromise. His name wasn't just a label, it was a declaration of who he was and where he came from. In 1993, at 19, Leo landed a role that would change everything. In What's Eating Gilbert Grape, he played Arnie, a mentally challenged teenager, opposite Johnny Depp's titular Gilbert. The film wasn't about Arnie, but Leo made it feel that way. His performance was raw, heartbreaking, and unnervingly authentic. He didn't just act, he became Arnie, capturing the character's innocence and unpredictability with such precision that audiences wondered if he was truly acting. Critics were floored, and the Academy took notice, nominating him for Best Supporting Actor at the 1994 Oscars. At 19, Leo had done what many spend decades chasing. He'd earned Hollywood's respect. That nomination was a turning point. It signaled that Leo wasn't just a kid with potential, he was a contender. Doors that had once been locked began to crack open. Directors saw him not as a risky bet, but as a rising star. Yet, even with this early success, the Oscar remained out of reach. The loss stung, but it didn't deter him. If anything, it lit a fire. Leo knew he had more to prove, and he was ready to take on bigger challenges. In 1996, Romeo plus Juliet redefined Leo's career. Directed by Baz Luhrmann, the film was a bold reimagining of Shakespeare's tragedy, set in a neon-lit, modern Verona Beach. Leo's Romeo was a revelation. His delivery of centuries-old dialogue felt fresh, his eyes brimming with love and despair. Teenagers swooned, and his face became a fixture on posters and magazine covers. Made on a modest $14.5 million budget, the film grossed $147 million, proving Leo's star power. He wasn't just an actor, he was a phenomenon, the kind of heartthrob who could make an entire generation fall in love. But Leo didn't want to be boxed in as Hollywood's pretty boy. The industry loves typecasting, locking actors into roles that sell tickets. After Romeo plus Juliet, studios clamored for him to play more romantic leads, roles that would keep him in the safe, lucrative lane of teen idol. Leo had other plans. He wanted to be taken seriously, to explore the depths of human experience, not just charm audiences with his smile. When James Cameron approached him for Titanic, 1997, Leo hesitated. The $200 million epic was the most ambitious project of its time, a gamble that could either make or break careers. The role of Jack Dawson, a carefree artist who falls for an aristocratic woman, felt too close to the romantic archetype Leo was trying to escape. He worried it would cement him as a heartthrob, not a serious actor. Cameron, however, saw Jack in Leo's raw energy and charisma. He convinced him to audition, and when Leo read lines with Kate Winslet, the chemistry was undeniable. Cameron knew he'd found his lead. Titanic wasn't just a movie, it was a global event. Released in 1997, it shattered box office records, grossing $2 billion and becoming the first film to cross the billion-dollar mark. Leo's Jack was the soul of the film, a dreamer who lived for love and freedom. His scenes with Winslet's Rose were electric, their connection so vivid that fans speculated about a real-life romance. In truth, Leo and Kate forged a deep, platonic friendship that has endured for decades, a testament to their mutual respect. The film's iconic "I'm flying" pose became a cultural touchstone, recreated everywhere from weddings to tourist spots. Titanic didn't just make Leo a star, it made him a legend. Post-Titanic, the world wanted more of Jack Dawson, but Leo was already charting a new course. He dove into Catch Me If You Can, 2002, playing Frank Abagnale Jr., a teenage con artist who outsmarted the world by posing as a pilot, doctor, and lawyer. Directed by Steven Spielberg, the role was a high-wire act, blending charm, cunning, and vulnerability. Leo nailed it, proving he could handle complex, multifaceted characters. Audiences and critics called him a chameleon, able to slip into any role with ease. His next move was a game-changer, a partnership with Martin Scorsese, one of Hollywood's most revered directors. Their first collaboration, Gangs of New York, 2002, saw Leo as Amsterdam Vallon, a young man seeking revenge in the brutal underworld of 1860s New York. Daniel Day-Lewis's ferocious performance as Bill the Butcher stole much of the spotlight, but Leo held his own, delivering a raw, intense portrayal. Scorsese saw something in Leo, a hunger to push boundaries, and gave him the freedom to explore. Leo reciprocated with unwavering trust, forging a creative bond that would shape his career. Together, they crafted a string of masterpieces. In The Aviator, 2004, Leo embodied Howard Hughes, capturing the aviation tycoon's brilliance and his crippling obsessive-compulsive disorder with haunting precision. Mental health experts praised the authenticity of his performance, yet the Oscar went to Jamie Foxx for Ray. In The Departed, 2006, Leo played a tormented undercover cop navigating a world of betrayal and violence. In Shutter Island, 2010, he was a U.S. Marshal unraveling a psychological mystery, his performance a masterclass in paranoia and grief. The Wolf of Wall Street, 2013, could be. Each film showcased Leo's versatility, but the Oscars remained elusive. His 1994 nomination for Gilbert Grape was followed by nods for The Aviator, 2004, and Blood Diamond, 2006, where he played a morally complex diamond smuggler. Yet each time, someone else walked away with the trophy: Fox, then Forrest Whitaker for The Last King of Scotland. Roles in Inception, 2010, and The Great Gatsby, 2013, were critically acclaimed but ignored by the Academy. Fans began to wonder, what did Leo have to do? The Academy Awards aren't just about talent, they're a game of politics, perception, and timing. The Academy loves stories of redemption, characters who embody suffering or moral triumph. Leo's roles, however, often leaned into morally gray territory. In Django Unchained, 2012, he played a sadistic plantation owner, a role so chilling it was unforgettable, but not the kind of character Oscar voters prefer noble roles. Even in The Departed, his character was a cop entangled in a web of corruption. In tragic appearances, Leo was an anomaly. He poured his soul into his work, then stepped back, letting his performances speak for themselves. He didn't play the Hollywood game, didn't court voters with charm offensives. To him, the art was enough. But in the Academy's eyes, that made him an outsider, talents being overlooked. The answer lay in a mix of factors: his anti-hero roles, his refusal to campaign, and the Academy's preference for certain narratives. But Leo wasn't done fighting. In 2015, Leo took on The Revenant, a film that would redefine his career. Directed by Alejandro G. Iñárritu, it told the story of Hugh Glass, a frontiersman betrayed and left for dead, driven by an unrelenting quest for survival and revenge. The role demanded everything from Leo, emotionally, physically, spiritually. He didn't just act, he endured. He plunged into a frozen Canadian river at -25 degrees without a stunt double, his body pushed to the brink. Every frame of The Revenant was a testament to his commitment, his eyes conveying a depth of pain that transcended language. The film was a departure from his previous roles. Unlike the morally ambiguous characters he'd played, Hugh Glass was a man wronged, fighting for justice. It was the kind of redemptive arc the Academy loves, backed by a performance that was impossible to ignore. When the 2016 Oscar nominations were announced, Leo's name was there. On the night of the ceremony, the tension was palpable. When the presenter said, "And the Oscar goes to Leonardo DiCaprio," the room erupted. The standing ovation was more than applause. It was a collective acknowledgement of 22 years of brilliance, of a man who refused to let rejection define him. That Oscar wasn't just a trophy, it was a symbol of endurance. For Leo, it wasn't the end, but a milestone. In 2019, he starred in Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, playing Rick Dalton, a fading actor grappling with his place in a changing industry. The role was deeply personal, reflecting Leo's own journey through Hollywood's highs and lows. He earned another nomination, but didn't win. By then, it didn't matter. Leo had transcended the need for validation. His legacy was secure. Leo's journey wasn't just about acting. Off-screen, he became a force for change. In 1998, he founded the Leonardo DiCaprio Foundation, dedicated to environmental conservation. His passion for the planet rivaled his passion for film, leading him to produce documentaries like Before the Flood and advocate for climate action on global stages. His Oscar acceptance speech in 2016 wasn't a self-congratulatory pat on the back. It was a call to action, urging the world to address climate change. For Leo, the spotlight was a platform to make a difference. His career choices reflected his values. Through Appian Way Productions, he championed projects that tackled social and environmental issues, from The 11th Hour to Virunga. He didn't just act in films, he used them to spark conversations, to challenge norms, to inspire change. This commitment set him apart in an industry often driven by profit and prestige. Leonardo DiCaprio's 22-year quest for the Oscar is more than a Hollywood story, it's a universal one. It's about the dreams that test your patience, the rejections that threaten to break you, and the courage to keep going. Leo didn't let the Academy's snubs define him. He didn't change his name to fit in, didn't compromise his vision to please voters, didn't stop pushing the boundaries of his craft. Each setback was a lesson, each role a chance to grow, each nomination a reminder that he was closer than before. For anyone chasing a dream, whether it's an award, a career, or a personal goal, Leo's journey is a beacon. Success isn't about instant gratification, it's about staying true to your path, even when the world says no. It's about believing in your worth, even when others don't see it. It's about knowing that delays aren't denials, but detours to a moment that will echo through time. What does Leo's story mean to you? How does his persistence inspire your own dreams? Share your thoughts, and if this tale of triumph moved you, subscribe for more stories that remind us why we keep fighting. Until next time, hold fast to your dreams, stay true to who you are, and never stop reaching for the stars. Signing off.